Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. We have a quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, and Arnold. So at this time, I will call the meeting to order, subject to my continuing objections to Ordinance 2024-01 and the omnibus motion. This body passed the first week of January 2024. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chaplain Walker is doing our invocation this evening.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
And council members.
Good evening.
We're finishing the week celebration of labor, of all those who have labored to help make us a new country, a strong country, a vibrant country, and a country of love and hope. Let us pray then. O Lord, our Lord, how magnificent is your name. And along with your name is the awareness of ultimate value, of love, and the right to honor our loved ones and be honored. We turn our attention to who you are, and the sense of presence and a call that comes from you to be more than we have been, to be able to labor more for the common good, and to be responsible, to have more respect for others, so that the call for our attention tonight and the happenings of this City Council meeting, may we reflect on our labor to be better stewards of what we have and what we want. Help us to keep in mind, O Lord, that our work and labor is to create new laws, new forms, or rules, so that all can continue on the path of growing up to full maturity and having the courage to be open, caring, transparent, and willing to act as a laborer for the common good. To what end? To ensure that all of us, as we strive for a better way of being who we are, help us to gain more insight into who we are and who we can be. We give thanks, O Lord, for our mayor, city council members, and all those in College Park who work and labor on our behalf to make the city a shining bright of its mission. Aid us to remember that all who labor for the highest ideas that make a good city proud and welcome to all, as we strive for a more perfect union based on honor, respect, and the right to love in such a union. May we leave here, O Lord, knowing that we have and do honor all who labor for us as individuals and as a city. We give thanks for the right to be here. May we leave here knowing that we have witnessed and labored to create better order better rules, better regulations for the welfare of all of us. So as we leave tonight, may we leave knowing that we have labored and we support labor on behalf of the city to keep the greatest ideals of what it is to be human alive. And that is to love our neighbors as ourselves. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents
Chief.
of College Park. I bring before you your civility pledge, which reads, "The way we govern ourselves is often as important as the positions we take. Our collective decisions will be better when different views have had an opportunity to be fully vetted and considered. All people have the right to be treated with respect, courtesy, and openness. We value all input. We commit to conduct ourselves at all times with civility and courtesy to each other." I will ask anyone who elects to step before the podium this evening, please remember the civility pledge.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight's safety briefing is as follows. In the event of a fire, please use the closest exit. Please take this time to locate the exit that could be in front of you or behind you. In the event the alarm sounds, please leave safely, quietly, and gather your belongings as you go while assisting others that need assistance. Once outside, follow the direction of your College Park staff to evacuate the building to the designated parking space. We'll let you know exactly where to go, and once we'll give you the all clear when it's time to come back in.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Agenda item 2, additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda.
Madam Clerk, do you have any?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I do have a few changes. I have an update to item 7A, which should read, request to set a hearing for a text amendment to zoning ordinance section 6.35 to amend 6.27 package store standards PA. This item is requested by Lanice Lyons, city planner.
So that would omit the "and to add development standards for vape shops."
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Remove consent,
What was that again? You said 7A?
7A, yes, sir. To remove the language that states "and to add development standards for vape shops."
Well, I think the whole thing was based on vape shops. There weren't any changes on the other part of it, package stores. So, why are we removing just a portion of it?
Sir, I personally cannot speak to that. That was just information that I was given by
Okay.
staff.
All right, keep on going.
Okay, yes, Madam Mayor. Item 8A, the consent agenda item, to remove the consideration of an action on a request to move forward with the AI artificial intelligence item. Would you like me to read the full item?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then item 8Q, under consent agenda, should read as follows. Consideration of an action on a request to hire Canoom Construction LLC to repair, construct, and restore a stormwater ditch in front of properties located at 4107 Monticello Way and 4099 Monticello Way. The remainder of the agenda item will remain as is. And those are the updates that I have, Madam Mayor, that I'm requesting.
All right, are there any additional amendments Deletions, additions, or changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to remove item 9N and table it for another meeting.
Okay, what is that? 9N. I believe that is the resolution that I've put on there. Okay. All right, any additional?
Yes, I'd like to make a couple of amendments.
Okay.
I would like to amend the agenda to conclude our regular business no later than 10:30 PM. And if all of our regular items have not been addressed by that time, that they be carried forward to the next regularly scheduled agenda under the category of old business.
All right, 10:30. Carry over to old business.
And I also like to amend the agenda to remove the executive session as I'm withdrawing my item at this present time
Okay.
due to the incomplete documentation. And there are no other matters on the agenda for the closed session.
So we do have another
Yeah, we do.
executive session item, a real estate item.
Are we buying or selling real estate?
We have a real estate item. It's
Is
not
it-
buying or selling. That's required.
It doesn't. I am very adamant. Tell me how it is, in the issue that we are dealing with has to do with real estate.
Madam Mayor, I believe that's a discussion we should have once we get there, and we'll decide whether or not it's appropriate to be in executive session.
A supplemental post-closing agreement, tell me how that has to do with real estate when we've already transferred the land.
Madam Mayor, I believe that we should have that discussion in executive session, and then we'll decide whether or not it's appropriate for us to be there.
Let me be clear. I do not believe under Georgia law that we have a reason to enter into executive session. I will not go into executive session to discuss a supplemental post-closing agreement, and I will not sign an affidavit affirming that we discussed something that was related to executive session. So I just want to be clear about that, because that conversation, because it does not involve the sale, the disposition of land or property, should be had in public. Any further discussion on the motions?
Madam Mayor, I believe that the staff wants item 7A removed in its entirety.
I think that's already been covered.
I believe the city clerk modified it, but it was still on the agenda, but now I'm advised that it should be removed in its entirety.
That's 6A, is that?
7A.
This, the agenda is, that's the old agenda. You need to update it.
This is the ordinance about package stores, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree.
7A is the bake shops.
Okay.
I think it should be removed as
Okay.
well. I agree.
All right. So 7A is removed, 8A is removed, 8Q, the language is changed to remove the reference to easement. In regard to removing, actually, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Question, in regard to 9N, was there an issue with 9N? Mayor Pro Tem,
No comment.
you just want to remove it?
I don't have, no comment.
All right, so I think there was
Right.
a discussion earlier about the ability of me as a member of this governing body to add things to the agenda. I'm not exactly sure how someone who has community enhancement funds is supposed to actually get those authorized if I can't add things to the agenda. And it would also put us at a disadvantage in terms of, as the only person who is elected citywide, I think a department head would have more opportunity to put things on the agenda. But I think this is something that the body should discuss, because we have a problem with blighted multifamily properties, period. And we need solutions to try to figure out how we deal with that. But if this body does not want to have that discussion today, that's fine. I will put it on the agenda again, and you can remove it again. Councilmember Carn?
Mayor, I agree with you 100%. I've been fighting against blighted communities and making sure these slumlords are ran out of this city. This does need a little more teeth in it, and there's some additional things I wanted to add to this ordinance. I did not get a chance to see it. I would have loved to discuss it, but I definitely want to make sure that this goes through at the very next meeting. I'm going to bring it and put it on the agenda, but I had some additions to the ordinance as well that would tighten things up and really strengthen this to the point where it needs to be to handle the type of some of our property owners that we're dealing with. So I'm 100% for it with you, on the same page, but we want to kind of double our efforts on that a little bit more.
Happy to have the discussion. Feel free to contact me and I will put it back on the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 3, approval of the agenda.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 4A, presentation of minutes of City Council workshop session minutes dated August 18th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
So
Motion.
moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 4B, regular session minutes dated August 18th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 5, proclamations, resolutions, plaques, and announcements. 5A is introduction of new employees in the month of August 2025.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to have the new employees for the month of August, if they are in the building, to come up and introduce themselves.
How are you doing? My name is Tasha, and I am a police officer recruit. Thank you. Thank you. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Yes.
Hey, I'm Bo Shadricks, and I'm a lineman for the Power Department.
I'm Jesse Lanier, and I'm a new lineman in the Power Department.
I'm Warren Holland. Right there. And if you'll come on this side of the mayor right here. Good. Yep, perfect. Right there. So, Councilman Gage, you'll go this way right there. All right, on 3, group. 1, 2, 3. Mayor, turn your shoulders in a little bit. Right there. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Now for the All-Star of the Month. The employee joined the City of College Park in August 2022, and from the very beginning has exemplified true leadership while continually striving for excellence. Upon joining our team, she immediately made her role her own. She has demonstrated a remarkable level of thoroughness, attention to detail, and organization. Just as importantly, she is deeply committed to ensuring the well-being, safety, and overall positive experience of everyone who enters the Gateway Center arena. Her dedication and professionalism have made a lasting impact, and her contributions embody the very spirit of teamwork and service that we value here in College Park. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Tiffany Johnson, our August All-Star of the Month, on a well-deserved recognition. Step right up here. Thank you.
Yeah, right there. Yep, right there. This one. All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Good feet here. That one braid right there. You go. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. And smile. Good, thank you.
Pardon me? The proclamations will be presented at another upcoming meeting. Agenda item 6, remarks of citizens. First public comment, Michael Hightower.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Hope everybody's doing well. I want to first, my first 15 seconds, Councilman Gay, thank you for hosting our reunion this past weekend. Had a great time, and saw a lot of old friends, but thank you. I'll be very brief. When I thought about the Bill Evans Field, having grown up in College Park, and as you know, Mr. Gay and Mr. Karn, played football here on the track at the Bill Badger Field. Bill Evans' son and I played football together at College Park High School, Eddie Evans. When I thought about the past, I thought about, wow, what a tremendous asset that is. Having finished high school here next door and seeing the many challenges, but also having played at the Brady Gym. When I was on the city council sitting where you guys sit, I renamed the Brady Gym from the College Park Rec Center number 2 to Raymond A. Brady Gym. Great experiences. But I'm here tonight just to ask you to rethink some things if necessary. When an asset is an asset, don't give it away. Don't give it away. If you want to cut a deal with somebody, cut a deal, but make sure it's the best deal for College Park. An asset is an asset. I ain't trying to meddle, but as a native son, I think we do have a chance to make some comments every now and then. Let me just say why I'm saying what I'm saying. That's 6.5 acres. Back in the day, there was a saying, Mr. McKenzie, not you, I was saying, don't sell your birthright too cheap. Don't sell your birthright too cheap. And sometimes when we're in certain roles, we have to make sure that we keep that into consideration. Don't sell the birthright too cheap. So I'm here for a few things. One, the current situation is an awesome piece of real estate. It's an awesome piece of the city's future. It's also an awesome piece of opportunity for this city. College Park deserves better. Just like Duluth. I was in Sugar Hill 3 weeks ago at an event there. In Duluth and Sugar Hill and Alpharetta. But this piece of dirt this piece of dirt, whether you want apartments, green space, or the highest and best use, let's make sure that we give the right due diligence for whatever we want to do. As city leaders, I would beg and ask of you to rethink the current situation. Collective minds between BIDA, you as our leaders, and others can also help ensure that this asset is not given away. The city deserves better. You deserve better. And again, if you want to cut a deal, but cut a deal the right way. Don't give away an asset. I was in a meeting, as a matter of fact, out of town week before last, and this issue came up, and they said, "Wow, we can get that kind of cheap dirt that close to the airport." But my time is up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mose James.
Madam Clerk, I've been gifted time from Jason Killip as well as Sherry Godfrey.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. How you doing?
Good evening.
Evening.
I am here in complete opposition of item 9D, which would give $40,000 to Addition T Entertainment. As far as I can tell, Addition T would support the communications department. They'd be some type of influencer for the city of College Park. Unfortunately, I don't really know what's going on because, like many things, the packet doesn't delve into too much detail. Who is behind Addition T Entertainment? I do happen to know that. There's a guy named Demetrius Taylor. We know that he's a very close friend to Mayor Pro Tem Jamil McKenzie. He's one of her loudest voices and advocates online. We also know that until about 10, 12 days ago, he planned on running against Joe Karn. All of a sudden, he's not running against Joe Karn, but he is up for a $40,000 contract at the very next council meeting. Although in that same week, he changed his LinkedIn to candidate for councilman in Ward 2. But something happened between Wednesday and Friday of qualifying that week that changed his mind. I've often wondered, how would Mayor Pro Tem McKenzie keep her close relationship to Demetrius Taylor and also keep her only friend on the council, Joe Karn, when they're running against each other? But you know what? They figured it out. They could kill two birds with one stone. All you have to do is take them out of the race. And you can do that for the low, low price of $40,000 of our dollars. Now, again, there's not a lot of information out there about Addition T Entertainment, but I did the research for you. I went online, I looked at a couple of things that have been said from Addition T Entertainment in the past, and this is not about Demetrius Taylor. This is about what we've seen online from Addition T Entertainment. So go ahead, let's figure it out now.
It ain't been too much that we done already fired some more people, really. And yet she's the city manager, nobody's calling her the interim. Y'all did meet the city manager, and this bitch, not like that, I didn't mean like that. A city manager who's no longer there, y'all still wanna throw his name around as if he was the catalyst for all of the mess. But y'all still don't put this heifer in her damn place. Y'all still don't, and won't. Okay, and then get mad at folks like me who sit up there and cuss her ass out. Or y'all get mad because I call her out her name or whatever, and you want to sit up there and get your panties all in a bunch and carrying on it, but oh, that's so disrespectful. No, it's not.
No, this isn't me. This is the guy that they're hiring.
Sir.
This is the guy that they're hiring.
Sir.
Excuse me, but this is their
Sir,
guy.
Sir.
Excuse me, this is Councilwoman McKenzie and Joe Karn. They want to spend $40,000.
Hold on,
of
Chief,
our
hold
money.
on. Mr. James, we won't allow profanity to be played.
but you will support it.
Mr. James, that's not a conversation. If you want to, if you have the remainder of the 9 minutes, if you'd like to use it in a way that does not use profanity, go right ahead.
I don't mind talking. So, it is odd to me that the city would finance the voice that I was just playing for you to the tune of $40,000 and an opportunity not to run against their own person. But I can't play his words in here. But I will tell you, when I sit back down, give me 5 minutes, log on to speakupcollegepark.com, and you'll see the unedited version of exactly what I was saying. Because I was kind enough to actually bleep out the over 30 curse words that you're going to hear in the next 3.5 minutes. From the person that this council has decided to be the voice piece of College Park. You'll go on to hear him repeatedly refer to the mayor as a BI. You'll go on to hear him refer to the city manager once again as someone who doesn't know what she's doing and should be replaced by Michael Hitz. You'll continue to hear him berate and talk about women in a fashion that just doesn't seem to cut the mustard to me. And I just want to know, Apostle McKenzie, is this what you believe is the best voice to represent you in the city of College Park? Joe Karn, while I've seen you and Mayor Bianca go back and forth many times, I haven't actually seen you call out her name. If you take the time to watch the video, you'll see Dish and T Entertainment call Mayor Bianca out her name several times. Is that something that you support? Is that worth the 12 votes that he got when he ran for mayor? If you divide those 12 votes by 4, that's only 3 votes from Ward 2. Is $40,000 worth 3 votes? Councilwoman Arnold, you and Pro Tem McKenzie were so excited about the history that was being made when you all became the first black women that were councilwomen. Do you support, to the tune of $40,000, one of your citizens referring to women as female dogs and berating the city manager, who's only been in the seat just a matter of months? Is that something that you support? Roger Gay, you've been to my house before. I've welcomed you in, you met my beautiful wife, and 2 things I know about you. You love Ward 4, and you love your wife. The owner of Dish and T created an entire car chronicle around my wife and berated her in that car chronicle. I know what you would do if he did that about your wife. Do you support giving him $40,000 of our dollars to do this on behalf of the city? I don't expect an answer from you all because I know this isn't the time that we do those things. And I really, really wish that everybody at home will log on to www.speakupcollegepark.com so that you can see the entire unedited, unredacted video. And unfortunately, unlike his campaign videos, this isn't AI. This is really what he said. Then we just need to ask ourselves, is College Park worth more than that? Is it worth more than a petty stunt to pay $40,000 so that somebody can get out of a race? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
James Walker.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I follow along that same line of $40,000. The wellness contract that's being awarded to the young lady's company who came down here during the workshop. Well, I understand that we do need help for our seniors, and it is necessary, but we have to do things decently and in order. For one, this $40,000 comes at an auspicious time. I understand that Fulton County does the same thing. We have services from Fulton County, actually located in Ward 1. So I ask you again, what safeguards are in place to make sure that they're not duplicative? What safeguards are in place to make sure that the handoff that they refer to, which is a referral, doesn't go unchecked? What I mean by that is you have a supporter of Jamel McKenzie, Allison Blue, who is on this company. Her daughter is an officer of this company. While they may do great work in Savannah, I've looked at their company, great work. But is she the only one that could do it in our city? Has there been a bid? Has there been any indication that we've sought out other people besides the supporters of Jamel McKenzie to get contracts in the city of College Park? Has there been any inquiry into other people doing the same service for what we now know is $40,000 is customary in our ward for giving out contracts? So I want you all to understand that we will be watching this company very closely. I know you all put it on a consent agenda to skirt it on through so we wouldn't have to have many discussions about it, which is what you all do over here. But at the same time, when this company gets referrals from our tax dollars being spent as a pilot program, why are the referrals going to go to this company and not some other business that wants to start up in College Park, that has references as well, that has a track record of dishing out and being able to provide these services just as well as the current contractor who submitted this $40,000 proposal for a pilot program for 2 quarters, I believe, with one person to service all of College Park. And she's going to work 40 hours a week. I believe you called it filet mignon instead of chicken nuggets. I think it's too soon to make that determination, McKenzie, because she hasn't even started yet. So let's do our due diligence and be responsible with our tax dollars and not frivolous as we have been before. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Karen Jeremy.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
I am excited about the opportunity for us to expand the capacity of public access television here in College Park. And in preparation for this conversation, I did a little research just so that I better understand, because I've worked in public access television quite a while. As you know, I'm a PR professional, and I've done community engagement, so public access is truly one of the vehicles that we use. And I was excited to find out that College Park has not only one public access television channel, they have 3. They have TV 23, 24, and 25. And based on the franchise agreement that we have for College Park with Comcast, we get, since 2021, I think that's when the mayor started, so I went back as far as 2021, we've gotten over $1.2 million from Comcast to host public access television, which includes, they do what's called the PEG approach, which is public access for the public. They do educational television, and they also do what we call government television. And TV23 primarily has been used, I think, by College Park for government television. And so we still have 2 venues that we need to explore. And I did a concentrated research, and I also noticed that there's no editorial calendar, there's no programming. So we need to be more strategic in how we facilitate a relationship with Comcast, because they've already given us $1.2 million. And so, Mayor and Council, I would really like to know where the $1.2 million has gone for public access television, because when I look at TV23, I hear constantly, just on anecdotally, I can't say specifically, but I've heard anecdotally that the equipment needs to be upgraded and the like. And so since I would really like to know where the $220,000 per year that is paid in franchise fees, I know it goes to the designated fund, and I know the line item and those types of things because it's reflected in public record. But I really would like to know how that money's spent and what is prohibiting us from having a more robust conversation in public access television like Atlanta, East Point, and so many others that have an active bulletin board. They have public access television where the entire citizenry is able to create programming that goes on the television. They also are able to do a host of governmental shows where they actually do, each of the council members has their own approach to the show. And I thought that that would be an excellent idea. And as the founder of Destination College Park, I think that I'm very vested in this conversation because it also enhances our ability to reach out to the hotels and all the people who come and have access to public television, TVs 23, 24, and 25. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I'd still like to know where that 1.2 million has gone. And if we could actually account for that and put that in public record, I'd like to know.
Is it time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It is time. Demetrius Taylor.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Demetrius Dennis Taylor. I'm a 17-year resident in the Embarcadero Club Apartments. And yes, I happen to own Dishing Tea Entertainment, LLC. As you've heard, my adversaries are already trying to make light of it and really said they did their research, but they don't know anything about me. So I'm here to give you just a little bit of insight as to who Dishing Tea Entertainment is and what I'm about. Dishing Tea Entertainment was started 16 years ago in my home here in College Park. I started with a radio show called Dishing Tea with Big Meech. We celebrated 16 years, and last year for our 15th anniversary, we started a radio station called WTEA Radio, powered by Live365.com. Over the years, my adversary come up to say some things that I have said on my personal page or whatever. So the language I could use on my personal page would never reflect anything that I do in my business. Because my business is my business. I do understand FCC regulations. I do understand codes. I do understand how business is supposed to be met. I'm here in a business suit today rather than jeans and a t-shirt and a ball cap, okay? So understanding that, we do understand how to have business and what it is that we want to do. My belief and my vision started a long time ago when I was on the BIDA board. When I was on BIDA and I was still in school at the American Intercontinental University, where I graduated in 2019 in media production. I started then because at that time, Mr. Walker was here then, and we had Robin, who was our photojournalist, and Mahershala Howard had just started and all that. And I was looking to volunteer then because we were still heavily understaffed. And that didn't pan out because I did not take the necessary steps. And then I got involved with BIDA and did my 4 years there. After that, we had Cameron come on as our communications director. And while serving on the board of the College Park Citizens Association, Cameron came to come do a presentation with us, and she told us then that she was looking to revamp TV 23. And because of her journalism background, and she's from my hometown, she was on the television news in Detroit with me where I knew her from, she and I began to collaborate on how we can then take TV 23 and provide news snippets, like auxiliary news stations do, and have a live voice and a face behind College Park as we were trying to revamp the station then. At that time, she was working on trying to get funding information and funding possibilities so that we could take the channel elsewhere. As you see, Cameron went on and moved on, and so now things
Thank
came.
you, sir.
No, I believe that I have time granted to me.
Okay, all right, another 3 minutes.
By Pam Greer.
Pamela Gray, yes.
Thank you. So because of that, as you see, Cameron is no longer here, And so, came this opportunity. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics as to why I suspended my campaign. Now, I do understand that the looks and the optics of this is very, very that way. However, if you go to Everything College Park on Facebook, I've done a video there that explains everything. And all of my adversaries who continue to say that they research me, apparently they don't do all of their homework because they would have found out the reason behind it. Now, my vision here is to make sure that TV23 is going to be expanded so that we can take College Park to its next level. As you just heard Karen say, we've really found out there are 3 stations that we have. Now, TV23 is our governmental station, which you guys access for the most part, because that's where council meetings are supposed to be going, in addition to our social media platforms. But we also have the education channel, which is TV24, where we can take and get all of our schools, Woodward Academy and College Park Elementary, to put programming up there. What would that be like to have 2 tutorials on public access? What would that be like to have our students who have games and all of that featured on the television station, right? That's part of the vision that we have. The public access is just that. It's for those who want to come on board. Perhaps my adversaries would like to come on and have their own television shows on public access, so that way they too can be in a more professional atmosphere and not have props to talk about their admonishments amongst everyone, so that it could be fair across the board. The whole idea for us to have an avenue is for everyone's voice to be heard, whether we disagree or not, but everyone's voice needs to be heard. And part of what my duty is to make sure that that happens, because part of the programming that I want to have is a round table where we can take different folks with strong opinions to come together, and we can sit down and discuss these issues without being so adversarial with one another, and without having computer courage and to hide behind computers and say things where we could really be neighborly, where we could experience one another as neighbors. And when it's all said and done, we can then really sit down and go have a beer or go have a burger and be neighborly again. The whole idea for TV23 and what my mission is to make sure that College Park is seen in its best light possible. We have so many avenues that we can take, and we need to stop running to Hateville and other places because we're embarrassed about our city. Why would we be embarrassed about something that we have invested in? TV23 is that platform for us to make sure that we put our best foot forward and to go into the future successfully. Could you imagine what we can do with that 1-6 West is developed? Could you imagine what our businesses can do just to have little blurbs to say, we are College Park, to say we're clearly College Park, or we're like I said, College Park's front door.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Steve Alexander.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and City Council. My name is Steve Alexander, and I reside at 4132 Williamsburg Drive here in College Park. I've been a resident of this city for 23 years. And I have just formally announced my candidacy to be Ward 4 City Council person. And that was just last week. And as of today, when I got home, I had a Post-it note from code enforcement on a vehicle that's operating, licensed, registration, and runs. Said my vehicle was parked on the street and I got to move it. And I think that those are political warfare. That's a weaponizing our code enforcement, our department heads to come against political opponents. And I think that's wrong. So that's why I'm here tonight, to address those issues. We got 60 days to run this race. And if my opponent wants to just dig in the dirt, he won't find nothing on me. But we can find a lot of stuff on my opponent. But we're not going to go down that road. But I'm here to tell you today that I'm in this race. And I'm going to run this race to the best of my ability. And the second thing I want to talk about is city spending. I think back up in June when we was talking about spending Ed Wall stood right here behind this podium, just like I am tonight. And he talked about tightening our belts, our spending habits. Over the last, since the budget got started, we're dropping money like it's water. We got city festivals that's going on in the city for $100,000. That I guarantee you that 50% of this city will not attend. It's all outsiders. Just like on February the 14th when we had the Valentine's Day. It was full of people from my hometown. I live an hour away from here. They showed up to receive free tickets. Anybody say anything free gonna show up. But I'm here tonight to tell you that we are spending too much money on frivolously events. Let's tighten our belts like Ed Wall said, and let's do better with this city. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Randy Godfrey.
Thank you for the opportunity. First, I want to start with some gratitude. You were faced with a horrible option a couple of weeks ago, and you chose what I believe is the right path, right? So, Councilman Karn tried to use some old regulation to push for shutting down at least one of our liquor stores. And this council wisely chose not to go down that road. You allowed those businesses through grandfathering to continue, and that was the right decision because it protected jobs, it honored investments that people made, and sent a message that College Park keeps its word. But even tonight, we were due to have some public hearing around the way that we arrange for different alcohol and smoke shops. I want to be careful about how we move forward. I want to talk more about how even when you turn down Cinnamon Karn's approach, we overheard him say that he'll deal with it another way. The problem is that he tried to do, but the way he framed it, he wrapped it in a moral attack that suggested poor black residents can't control themselves, echoing the same stereotypes white people have used against our community for many, many years. That rhetoric is not only tone deaf, it's harmful. Meanwhile, our city is working hard to bring in businesses and jobs. We are a regional hub with millions of guests in our hotels and in our convention center each year. Efforts to reduce our target businesses here risk punishing the very entrepreneurs who followed the law, invested here, and support our community with sponsorships, fundraisers, and tax dollars. And by the way, Councilman Karn, if the council had followed your lead, which of our local entrepreneurs were you going to shut down, right? It would have left us in a really weird position to have to shut somebody's business down. Whose employees were you going to lay off? Whose family savings were you prepared to wipe out? And then there's this double standard. At the city's own Bita banquet, bottles of Crown are handed out as parting gifts. That room is full of politicians and connected folks, and nobody suggested they were being victimized by alcohol. So let's be honest, alcohol isn't the issue. The issue is whether concern about alcohol only shows up when it's tied to poor and unconnected. My call to action is simple. I urge this council to stay the course.
Thank you, sir.
Grace Lunsford.
Hi, everyone. It's been a minute. A busy summer for my family, honoring my father's passing. Thank you, City Manager Lindell, for joining us at the St. John's Episcopal Church block party on the 23rd. It was a great way to bring attention to the community. We missed you next year. We also brought a lot of attention to some of our most vulnerable. Tri-Cities Kitties was there with several of the cats that they rescued from the Chelsea Gardens disaster. 39 cats alone were taken from that disaster. And health equity is one of the reasons why I'm here tonight to speak. And I would be remiss if I did not mention single mothers in this town too. We do have a problem, especially with single mothers being abused by landlords. I would really like to see our city doing more about that, and I'm happy to discuss more. Several of the neighbors that are here tonight, this summer we helped rescue one of our own from being kicked out onto the street. This coming Thursday, September 25th, there will be an equitable dinner through Out of Hand Theater happening at St. John's Episcopal Church. I think we have 70 seats, and I am sending an invitation to all of you. In the morning, you will see it in your inbox, and we would love to have you at that table. It's going to be very, very important. Back to the City of College Park Electric Department. I was happy to see new linemen tonight. Because they were super helpful to me 2 weeks ago on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. when a tree fell across my driveway and into one lane on Washington Road. Now, I am breathing a little bit better, but I hate that it happened this way because 316 days prior, I informed our neighbors, the code enforcement, the city manager of this tree. We are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene, and it was that storm, the deluge that happens on Washington Road, and the pitch of the earth on Washington Road in College Park that made that tree fall. This was not, just, a random thing. I had a friend who died from having a tree fall on her in Chicago. It's very, very personal for me just in that level, and I held my breath for 316 days and rolled down my window to make sure that tree wasn't falling as I took my children out of the driveway.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Mayor, we have reached the 30-minute limit for in-person public comment.
Okay.
I will begin by reading the emailed public comments. First is from Tom Coleman. Dear Mayor and Council, there are certainly proper times when an elected official should abstain from voting. However, it appears the officials frequently use abstentions to silently allow passage of actions without taking a stand and subsequently claim, "I didn't vote for that." You fool no one. If you have a legitimate reason to abstain, say so. If you feel you have insufficient information to vote, bring this up in discussion and ask that the item be tabled until such information is provided. If you have a personal or relational financial conflict, please say so in discussion. That contract is for my brother-in-law, so I will be abstaining. As it is written, let your yes be yes and your no be no. You owe it to your constituents to go on record for the hard decisions they entrust you to make. Sincerely, Tom Coleman. Next public comment is from Javis Carr. Good evening, council members. It has not gone unnoticed that the $40,000 video content contract was first buried in the consent agenda, as it is awarding tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars were the same as approving minutes, and only now has it been moved to the regular agenda. That change alone speaks volumes. It tells us that the council knows that this is not routine, that it deserves scrutiny, and that the community is watching closely. But moving it to the regular agenda does not erase the deeper concerns. Let's be honest, this is not just any vendor. This contract is aimed at a recent political candidate for this very council who has since dropped out of the race. To residents, this does not look like a professional business arrangement. It looks like a political payoff. The public deserves clear answers. Where is this $40,000 coming from? Did this go through a legitimate competitive purchasing process? How can it possibly be ethical to award taxpayer funds to someone who was just campaigning for a seat at this very table. This is part of a troubling pattern. We've seen attempted private security contracts that no one in the community wanted. We've seen homelessness initiatives that looked more like publicity than solutions, and now another questionable contract that undermines both transparency and ethics. Council members, your duty is not to manage deals that serve individuals. Your duty is to safeguard the interests of the people who live and pay taxes in College Park. To try to slip this contract into consent and only pull it out after being caught is not governance, it's gameship. College Park deserves better. Residents are not distracted. We are not fooled. I strongly urge you to vote against this contract and restore some measure of trust in this council. Next public comment is from Michael Lindsay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Michael Lindsay, and I live at 2240 Rugby Terrace. I wanted to speak tonight on the Public Access TV 23. As you all know, that most publicly broadcast stations across the nation budgets have been cut tremendously. We have reached the 15-minute time limit for that subject, the dishing tea subject.
Oh, okay.
So I will stop there. And that is all for the emailed public comments, Madam Mayor.
All right.
Next agenda item, 7A, request.
I think A is off.
Pardon me. 7B, request to set a hearing for text amendment to zoning ordinance section 6.21, especially large building standards. This item is requested by Lenise Lyon, City Planner.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of a second.
Agenda item 7C, request to set a hearing for a text amendment to zoning ordinance section 6.35 fence and wall standards. This item is requested by Lenise Lyon, City Planner.
Is there a motion?
Ms. Lyons, did you have some information?
Sir, is there a motion? I'm not calling for a motion right now. Is there a motion to set a hearing for this?
This is
All
for
right.
the fence standards, right?
Yes.
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Councilmember
Lyons,
Carn?
You want to just give a brief once over so people understand what we...
Yes, this would be to set a public hearing for the text amendment to the fence and wall standards. It went to Planning Commission August 25th, and they recommended approval. The amendment is to correct the Scrivener's error in how some of the subsections are ordered, because they were somewhere incorrectly placed under other subsections as if they were part of that, but they should be separated out as separate and isolated sections. So that's what it will be. It will be correcting.
All right, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Councilmember Gay?
Abstain.
Okay, all right. So motion passes with Councilmembers McKenzie, Carn, and Arnold, and Councilmember Gay abstaining.
Agenda item 7D, request to set a hearing to rezone 3732, 3738, 3748, and 3756 Herschel Road from OP Office Professional R1 Single Family Residential. This item is requested by Lenise Lyon, City Planner.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Well, first off, colleagues.
Councilmember Gay?
First off, it's my ward, and if we're gonna vote, at least give me the courtesy of a conversation. At least do that much, okay? Secondly, how many hearings can we have? Is this the same applicant? Because I've been to 3 of them. I mean, how many are we gonna have? This is
in Ward 2.
No, this is actually Councilmember Carn's house.
Oh, Lord. Take it back.
Any further discussion?
Ms. Lyons,
Councilmember Carn?
can you give a little detail on this? And I have some comments after you speak as well.
Yes, this is to rezone Councilman Carnes and three of his neighbors' homes on Herschel Road. In 1996, these were all R1, and there was an ordinance related to an urban redevelopment plan that rezoned these parcels as well as many others along Herschel Road and Camp Creek Parkway to office professional, and many of them were residential. And as it's rezoned to office professional and makes the single family use a legal non-conforming use, which impacts all of their abilities to expand on their homes, to do anything related to maintenance, or it can encumber them in the future if they try to sell it, because now that single family use is no longer permitted by right. So this would revert these properties back to R1 so that moving forward, Councilman Carn and his neighbors can make those improvements to their home if they need to. Something happens and they need to rebuild bigger, they can certainly do that without having to go through this process. So this is us being proactive as the city to change these back to R1 so that in the future, moving forward, these property owners won't have that issue.
All right, any further discussion?
I do.
Councilmember Carn?
Now, I had spoken to my neighbors about this when I became aware of it. Apparently, like Ms. Lyons said, somewhere back in 95, 96, which predates all of us up here, the city zoned 4, 5 properties along Herschel Road from residential to office professional. Now, all of Herschel Road, well, my portion of Herschel Road, every home is zoned residential, except for this row of houses. Once I became aware of it, I talked to my neighbors and met with them, and they all was kind of surprised that they weren't zoned residential as the rest of the properties along Herschel Road. So this was an administrative issue that was just outstanding for years and years and decades. Once I became aware of it, I talked to my neighbors. I asked them if they wanted to change to R1 so they would have proper zoning like the rest of the houses on Herschel Road. And they said that we were fine with it. They weren't aware of it as well. Again, all the other homes on Herschel Road are zoned correctly. This was just an anomaly from decades ago. So we're just correcting it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Next item is 8B, consideration of an action on a request to approve security cameras for Hawthorne Station and Godby Road in the amount of $25,148.39. This is a budgeted item from Councilman Joe Carn, Community Enhancement Non-Capital Budget, account number 100-1100-52-7282. This will service Ward 2. Item 8C, consideration of an action on a request to approve the final payment in the amount of $19,999.98 to Georgia Link Public Affairs Group for government affairs services provided to the City of College Park during July and August. This item is requested by Lindell Y. Miller, City Manager, and is budgeted item consulting services GL account number 100-1300-52-5510, fiscal year 2025 to 2026. Item 8D, consideration of an action on a request to approve purchase of outdoor workout equipment with shade at Brennan Park in the amount of $74,385.89 from Great Southern Recreation from the state contract with Omnia. This is a budgeted item coming from Fund Recreation and Cultural Arts FY 2026, budget GL account number 100-6122-54-7920, Recreation Capital Project. This will service Ward 2. Item 8E, consideration of an action on a request from Fire Chief Sterling P. Jones to utilize SiteMed for the fire department fit for duty physicals and to renew the service agreement for fiscal year 2026 at a cost of $26,810. This is a budgeted item. Fund GL account number 100-3520-526170 contractual services FY 26. This will service all wards. Item 8F, 8F, consideration of an action on a request to approve the renewal for Midwest Municipal Services LLC, DBA CredStar Revenue Solutions, contract as the designated collection agency for managing and collecting delinquent utility accounts on behalf of the City of College Park. This agenda item is being requested by Terry Jackson, Finance Director, William Scott, Customer Service Manager. This is a budgeted item, fund contractual services expense, GL account number 510-4630-52-6170. This item serves city functions. Item 8G, consideration of an action on a request to approve the cooperative agreement Sourcewell RFP 091422 with Wesco Distribution, Inc. for the services facility, MRO, industrial, and building-related supplies in the amount not to exceed $40,000. This agenda item is being requested by Hugh Richardson. This is a budgeted item, fund R&M distribution, GL account number 510-4600-52-5790. This will service all wards. Item 8H, consideration of an action on request or approval to piggyback on state contract 99999-001 SPD 0000218-0006 for the purchase of administrative vehicles from Hardy Chevrolet Buick GMC Inc. in an amount not to exceed $47,755. This is a budgeted expenditure under funds vehicles, new GL account number 510-4600-54-7580 and will support city operations across all wards. This item is submitted by Hugh Richardson. 8I, consideration of an action on a request for approval of a cooperative purchasing agreement with ChargePoint through Sourcewell RFP 042221-CPI for the acquisition of electric vehicle supply equipment and related services. The total cost shall not exceed $30,000. This purchase will support the installation of additional EV charging stations throughout the city, benefiting all wards. This item is budgeted under fund contractual services and being submitted by Hugh Richardson. Item 8J, consideration of an action on request to pay Just Foy invoice in the amount of $10,326.75 for the Open Records online portal. This is a budgeted item, fiscal year 2026. This item is requested by Queenie Brown, Deputy City Clerk. This item supports citywide functions. Item 8K, consideration of action to contract Jasmine Payne as the Ward 2 Legislative Aide, compensated at $70,000 as a full-time contractor. This item is being requested by Councilman Joe Carn. This is a budgeted item, fund contractual services. This item will service Ward 2. 8L, consideration of action on approval of community initiative approval for concept designs for community initiatives of a Ward 3 mural and monument from Canoom Construction. The total estimated cost for the projects is $22,600. This item is requested by Councilwoman Tracy Arnold. This is a budgeted item from community enhancements, capital funds. Item 8M, consideration of an action on a request to approve the cooperative agreement Omnia to TSA Inc. for cyber security solutions and associate products and services in the amount not to exceed $34,936.58, which was expensed on August 22nd, 2025. This is a ratification. This agenda item is being requested by Connie Rogers, Chief of Police. This is a budgeted item, fund R&M, building, public safety. This will service all wards. Item 8N, consideration of an action on request to approve a community capital initiative for a professional services contract for the coordinator of Ward 3 capital projects with Canoom Construction, community enhancement, non-capital. This item is sponsored by Councilwoman Tracy Arnold. Item 8O, consideration of an action on a request to approve Middy's Garage Inc. citywide 2025 to 2026 vehicle maintenance contract. Connie Rogers, Chief of Police, is requesting payment. This is a budgeted item in the amount of $412 and $500 annually. Fiscal year 2025 to 2026. 8P, consideration of an action on request to approve a community initiative 20 Pearls Foundation Post-Secondary Advancement College and Career Enrichment Programs, PACE, at the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Complex. This item is requested by Councilwoman Tracy Arnold. Ward 3 Community Enhancement Fund, non-capital, FY 2026. Item 8Q, consideration of an action on a request to hire Canoom Construction LLC to repair, construct, and restore a stormwater ditch in front of properties located at 410 7 Monticello Way and 4099 Monticello Way. Cost estimate of the project is $30,389.79. This is a budgeted item. Ward 4, Community Enhancement Capital Funds. This item is sponsored by Councilman Roderick Gay. Item 8R, consideration of an action on request to purchase and replace unit number 128 from Hardy Chevrolet in the amount of $63,662. This item is requested by Carlton Newton, Building and Grounds Superintendent. This is a budgeted item from Vehicle Replacement Fund. This purchase will service all wards. Item 8S, consideration on an action to approve a contract with Hospital in Your Home for the Wise and Well Initiative in College Park and an estimated cost of $40,000. This is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie and will serve all 4 wards of the city. This is a budgeted item, Ward 1, Community Enhancement, non-capital for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. 8T, consideration of an action on a request to amend the contract with A&S Paving, Inc. to include additional streets for resurfacing Parkview Circle in the amount of $76,967.75. This request is being made by Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie, who will allocate funds from a community enhancement line item. This request will serve Ward 1. 8U, consideration of an action on a request to amend the contract with A&S Paving to include additional streets for resurfacing Windsor Forest Court and Windsor Forest Lane in the amount of $107,246. This item is being requested by Councilman Joe Carn, who will allocate funds from his community enhancement capital budget to support this project. This item will support Ward 2. Item 8V, consideration of an action on a request to mill and pave the city-owned parking lot at 2540 Riverdale Road, College Park, Georgia. Fund Ward 4 Community Enhancement Capital. Staff to choose from 2 responsive paving estimates attached. Both contractors are currently under contract for street paving in the amount of $625,000. The scope should include milling and repaving, demolition and haul-off of 10 concrete base curbs, installation of 12 utility lights, and a new parking lot strip design. This item is sponsored by Councilman Roderick Gay.
Mr. Denmark?
Yes.
So the resolution for the Riverdale Road parking lot would negate the previous resolution?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
We had a resolution that would allocate the $1.5 million from Bill Evans Field for ballparks.
Yes.
So this would negate that?
No, I think they work in tandem. We just have to, one supplements the other as opposed to supplanting it. I'd have to lay them side by side, but I don't think it's the intent to nullify or to replace the prior resolution. I think that they are complementary.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. All in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9A for regular business, consideration of an action on a request for a special event permit for the Historic College Park Neighborhood Association yard sale by the Historic College Park Neighborhood Association on October 11th, 2025 from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in wards 1 and 3. This item is requested by Queenie Brown, Deputy City Clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9B, consideration of an action on a special event permit for ATL Halloween Community Day Festival on November 4th, 2025 from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. in Ward 1. This item is requested by Queenie Brown, Deputy City Clerk.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Item 9C, presentation of official directors on the Board of Ethics and approval of a resolution approving the appointment of individuals to the College Park Ethic Board of Directors.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9D, consideration of an action on a request to contract Dishing Tea Entertainment with a professional service agreement for the amount of $40,000. This is a budgeted item, fund capital improvement, non-capital GL 100-1100-52-7282. This item is sponsored by Councilman Joe Carn and Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie. This will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. There's always discussion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
A couple of things here. This media initiative is something that's been in the works for several years. A few years back, Mr. Taylor did propose this to the Communications Department. It's my understanding that he did not choose to run for office. I didn't know if he was running or not. And what I do know is that he did run and qualified to run for mayor a couple of years ago. And in terms of political, people have the right to be political if they want to be political or desire to run for office or whatever have you. When I did speak with him, he did mention that he wanted to represent the community in other ways, and what he thought was a better way that fit his experience and skill set. Here's my thing. A couple of things I will say about this. Personally, I would like to find qualified folks, local residents, to handle just about every job in this community that needs to be handled. There was a time when all of our department heads were required to live inside the city limits. And that was part of representing our community. And it was done for a reason, obviously. I do represent our community. I represent all of our community. I'll continue to support and look for residents that want to participate. I want to look for residents to recruit for services and qualified residents with experience. And I'm looking for folks in general that'll bring value to College Park. Now, our public access channel, I think, could use some additional things to liven things up a bit in terms of our city. We have a vibrant city. We have a lot going on that people are not aware of. This type of programming, well, first of all, it would always be positive programming and always good things happening in College Park. And I do have some concerns. While I think every resident has a right to express their feelings and their opinions, we get negative criticism up here all the time. As a matter of fact, all of us up here have been called names or been criticized, but that's part of public service at the end of the day. At the same time, I would never condone, that type of language, and I was not aware of that going on, in a personal blog setting, because I would not be aware of that. But what someone personally feels is obviously their feelings. People have, issues and whatnot, and they want to speak their piece. A lot of people express themselves in a lot of ways when they come up here. A lot of people express themselves in ways in the community. We may not like to hear these things sometimes or whatever have you, but that's just par for the course in terms of a community and public service. In terms of this particular possibility of doing this, this would be, and if this does move forward, it would be under the direct supervision of the Communications Department, which would mean that any reports, segments, and copy would have to be approved by Communications Department and ultimately the city manager if we were to move forward with this. But I do think our local programming needs a local touch of somewhat. Now, Mr. Taylor, he is not a Johnny-come-lately in the community. There are lots of people that live in our community that have not served our community or worked with our community or volunteered with our community. While nobody is perfect, he has been serving in our community. He offered himself to serve on the Development Authority for several years. He offered himself to serve in our neighborhood associations, I believe the College Park Citizens Association group, and so on and so forth. I'm not, I'm not one to run away from our own residents, whether we appreciate commentary or not. Nobody's perfect out here. Nobody's perfect in our community. But these are all our neighbors. And I think this city has always tried to look to local solutions if they will better our city. This contract would have deliverables, and there are many deliverables in it. There would be over about 80 to 100, about 100 segments that are required to be turned in. Those segments would have to be approved by the City of College Park. The types of things that this production would be featuring would be business spotlight segments, community partner segments, community residents, individuals. We do cover festivals, but having a local resident to help cover some of those activities and some of those things going on, I think ultimately would be a plus to the community. Again, Mr. Taylor, he is colorful. He is a colorful fella, but we were looking for someone that was, larger than life and out in the community and very articulate. I've heard some of his public posts, and they were very effective. He's spoken at community events, public events in College Park, at the Public Safety Complex, here and out and about. So at the same time, this collaboration, if it's going to work, again, would have to be performed for the betterment of this city. We want to bring positive values to this city and positive features to this city. So I think this is something that would be a benefit to this city. I would support it, and I don't get into in terms of personal issues and personal differences. I'm not so quick to judge. So I'll leave it at that, and I'm for one, I'm going to support it because I know it will be done the proper way. And I think folks might be surprised with the outcome that we get from supporting some of our local talent. And we always want to support a lot of our local folks. If we can find folks that can bring improvements to this city, I think that's always a plus. And that's why I thought that this would be an opportunity to expand the public access and expand on some of the things that were going on in this city and abroad. We would have bulletin boards of activities going on that sometimes do fall through the cracks. We have a lot going on in this city. So I'll leave it at that.
Mayor?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Okay, I just want to make a couple of comments, just to clarify a few things that were said in the public comment today. People need to understand that professional services contracts in the city of College Park do not go through an RFP process, depending on the type of contract it is. People saying that we need to get bids, that is not true, and I just want to clarify that. We've had a contract today that was on the consent agenda that was a professional services contract. It was not bidded out. We have professional service contracts with each of our legislative assistants. We did not bid those out. This is the same type of situation. Even the service that I have brought, there's several things, I think, even on the consent agenda, that are contracts that were not bidded out. So we just need people to understand that a professional services contract of this nature does not need to be bid out. I also want to make just a statement in terms of residents who speak their piece. We've got a lot of residents that speak their piece. Several of them came down tonight. They speak their piece here. They have spoken, they have called me everything less than a child of God. It's amazing that I got called an apostle tonight. I thank God for the respect of an apostle being called that, but it was said in sarcasm. It's kind of interesting that a person who is a woman of God and an apostle would be talked about like a dirty dog on a regular basis by a man and men, and I too am a woman. So if we were to start this kind of thing where we decide as a city or even a council that we want to prejudice people that are in our community because they speak their piece, that means that there's a whole bunch of people in the city of College Park that would never get hired by the city, never get a contract, and I think that we would also be infringing on their First Amendment rights. I don't speak on those things all the time because I feel people have a right to say what they want to say in their personal silos. And so for us to look at what Mr. Taylor has already said in his personal and compare that to his professional, that I think that we're being discriminatory. I think we're being discriminatory as a council if we choose to not accept this contract today Because what we are saying in a hypocritical way is that I just don't like the fact that Mr. Taylor talked about me. I don't like the fact that Mr. Taylor is an openly gay man that talks about me on his blog. And I think that that is being discriminatory. I think that that is being hypocritical. I think that we need to be bigger than that. And I know it's election season, and some people just don't want to say something because they're afraid they'll lose 3 votes in a ward that's not even theirs. And I think that at this point, we need to be bigger. This man is a wonderful, and I'm not saying it because he's my friend, but guess what? You all know what? I have some amazing friends. I happen to know, people used to always say this about Jamel, you're everywhere, you're everywhere, you're all over the place. Guess what I am? I'm everywhere, I'm all over the place, and I know people. And if it were for me that I could not give a contract to somebody in this city because I know them personally, I would never be able to give a contract. And why do I select people to give contracts to that I know? Is because I can trust them. I hope that I can. This city is too valuable. And look, y'all can look at my finances. I got a lot of money. I don't need any money from any of these contracts. I wouldn't be sitting up here right now serving if it was about money. This is a volunteer job that I do, and I do it full time because I don't need the money. I do this because this is something that I am passionate about. It's called serving the people of my city. So I wouldn't award anybody a contract, and let me tell you this much. 10,000, 100,000, even $500,000 is not enough for me to be paraded into jail or prison in an orange suit. It's just not worth it. $1 million is not worth it, especially when you're a millionaire. So I don't do this for money. In fact, I give money on a regular basis, okay? And I'm giving contracts to people that I believe will do the job, people who are vested in this city. Meech and I call him Meech. Meech has gone off on me on his broadcast, and I don't prejudice him for it. Yes, a lot of times he sees my way because I'm making a lot of sense, okay? But he is a friend, and I'm not ashamed of that. But do I have a conflict of interest? Heck no, because I'm not getting anything out of this. And have we spoken about this since back in the years of Bida? Yes, but Meech wanted to run for mayor, so he couldn't do it. Then Meech was considering running for city council, but then he changed his mind because this is what he's passionate about. Why sit up here or run for a position up here that you're not going to do a daggone thing for this city because your heart is not in it when there's something else that you can do that you're passionate about and you can serve the city in a better way? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are committed. We're looking for people that have skin in the game. We're looking for people that I can knock on your door and say, yo, what's up? Why aren't you out here doing what you're supposed to do? Not somebody from another city, from another town. This is about College Park. This is about empowering the people that are our people. College Park first. Charity begins at home. Then it goes abroad. If we can't find somebody in College Park who can do it well, then we go out of College Park. So all I'm saying is that yes, I know him personally. No, I'm not receiving anything from this contract except for the satisfaction of knowing that we did College Park right. That we looked at an individual that has a following. There's people sitting in this audience right now, and you wait on Facebook to see when Meech is going to go live just so you can see what he's going to say today. We have a character, a colorful character. And I'm going to tell somebody this much too. One thing that my great-grandmother taught me, she said, you want to be able to draw flies with honey and not vinegar. Mr. Taylor is going to continue to do what he does. I don't want to be on the side of saying, I'm not going to give him a contract. Because when we give him the contract, then he works for the city of College Park. And that's going to change some of the things that people might have a problem with him saying, even in his personal. But if we choose not to, whatever you get is what you deserve. So I'm just saying, yep, he's just like Mose James, who came down here, James Walker, who speak their piece, and the others. And guess what? I've already challenged Randy Godfrey and all the persons that consider themselves to be my haters. Come to me with something you want to do to make this community better. Let's talk about it. And if you're able to do the job and you have the qualifications, I will gladly award you a contract, because family first, College Park first, people that we know, that we can trust, that we can knock on your door at midnight, that we can say to you, because guess what? Somebody from outside, they don't have it. They don't have skin in the game like the ones inside. So I'm just saying, I understand my council doesn't want to support this tonight, and we'll see when the vote comes up. But I am saying that he's able to do it, he's qualified, he has the education, he has the following, he has the stamina, he has the grit, and he has the personality. And also, finally, we did talk to Gerald Walker about this. And even though we have more staff in our communications, everybody in communications is busy doing what they're doing. And so when we look at additional projects that we want to have done or enhancing something like Channel 23, it's a benefit to our staff that are already here to bring contractors, professionals on. And we do save money as a city, because when we bring on contractors, we don't have to pay the benefit package. And contractors, when the contract is over, it's over. We can decide whether we want to renew it or not. When you bring an employee, one of the worst things you can do is, just because you don't want to have an employee with you anymore, is you terminate them and let them go. So when you have a contract, we know it's going to be over in 6 months. But when you have a job, you're expecting to have that job this year, next year, the year after. So, Jamel McKenzie has spoken, and I mean it from my heart. I'm passionate about it, and I dare anybody in this city who wants to do something to make College Park better, who wants to help us build College Park better in 2025, set up an appointment with me, call a sister on the phone, let me know what you want to do. And my contracts are usually $40,000 because I was given $400,000 for community enhancement priorities. And so whether I looked at it, I could award 10 contracts. So that's the answer to the $40,000. I could give 10 contracts for $40,000. I could do some for $80,000, whatever it is. But my goal is to hire College Park first, and people that I believe can be trusted.
Councilmember Carn?
I'll just say one last thing. And I know we got a lot of new employees and department heads. City manager, I can tell you that most people would be surprised by some of the blogs and online posts that over the years I have personally seen that city employees have posted. But I believe that when someone is off duty, they have a right to express themselves or free speech. And I understand criticism. It's necessary. It helps us all to improve. It helps us up here to improve. When we hear that criticism, we listen and we do respond. But if you want to serve in this community, and you're qualified, you come with a great city project that would improve our city, I'm open. Bring it on up here. I understand criticism, but help us make it better. If you've got a better project or a better way to do it, bring it on up here. We want to make sure we get as much positive influence and as much positive progress using our local talent pool that we can. So, again, I represent my residents, and I do want to give them an opportunity and a chance. Again, whatever the council's pleasure is, we'll see how it goes here.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed. The motion fails.
We already knew it was going to be that way, but at least we spoke.
Agenda item 9E, consideration of an action on a request to approve a contract with Cyber Savvy Chick Professional Services LLC to provide administrative services in the amount of $20,000 through June 30th, 2026. This item is requested by Ginger Melton, Main Street Manager. This is a budgeted item, fiscal year 2026, GL account number 100-7500-52-6170. This item supports Ward 1 and 3.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9F, consideration of an action on a request to have a discussion on the millage rate, approved recommended millage rate for fiscal year 2025 to 2026, advertisement and press release. The total tax levy per fund is General Fund $17,355,239, Hospitality $3,075,097, and GICC Convention Center Special District $729,919. This agenda item is being requested by Terry Jackson, Finance Director, and Phil Latona, Tax and Revenue Administrator. These are budgeted items from the fund ad valorem.
Is there action here? There is no action. We're just having a conversation, right?
What I'm seeking from the body is permission to advertise.
Okay, so is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second with discussion.
There's always discussion. All right, Councilmember Carn seconded. So, Mr. Latona, the floor is yours, though. So if you want to go ahead and lay this out.
Yes, so our current millage rate is 11.608. The packet includes our tax digest and 5-year levy of history, 5-year history, and the rollback rate is coming in at 11.493. If we use the rollback rate of 11.493, we do not have to advertise as a tax increase. That millage rate does support the budgeted amount that we budgeted for this fiscal year. So I was seeking to advertise the public hearing and the rollback rate as 11.493.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Latona. Councilmember Carn, did you have something?
All right, so if we look at the rollback for the public hearing, that'll be no tax increase.
Correct.
All right.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor for the advertisement at 11.493 mils? All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Latona.
Agenda item 9G, consideration of an action on a request for approval to piggyback on DeKalb County Contract ITB 22-101492 for tree cutting and removal services, awarding the contract to Casey Tree Experts in an amount not to exceed $100,000. Under this agreement, the contractor will provide all labor, equipment, materials, and supervision necessary to perform the following services: removal of hazardous, dead, or diseased trees, emergency tree removal following storms or accidents. This contract will also cover arborist services. This is a budgeted item fund, contractual services, GL 100-4200-52-6170. This agenda item is submitted by Lindell Y. Miller, City Manager.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Ms. Miller, I was a little confused between the agreement that said that it would not exceed, and Mr. Jones, actually, you drafted that agreement, I think. The agreement itself said it wouldn't exceed a price that was less than $30,000. We've got an amount not to exceed $100,000 on the agenda item. I know this includes an arborist. Could you explain how all this comes together?
With the $100,000, I contacted the different departments, and this was the price they gave me, that they say they wanted to have allotted for their services.
Which departments are you?
Public Works.
Okay. So the contract that says it wouldn't exceed 21.
576.
Thank you, Councilmember. 21,576. How does this all come together?
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, the contract is not to exceed $100,000. That has to be a typo.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it.
Because this will service all departments, all wards. This is an emergency tree removal program That also includes an arborist that will go out and review certain trees in different wards at different times. So this covers all wards, all departments, and it's $100,000 not to exceed.
And it says
Councilmember Arnold?
and it says per occurrence
Per-
anyway.
Or I think per contract, right?
Per occurrence or single occurrence for the 21,000.
Okay, so that, all right, it's a little confusing as written, I
Right.
think. But has legal had a chance to review this contract?
I believe my office did.
Okay. I didn't see $100,000 in the contract. I mean, but, so I just want to make sure that whatever is issued aligns with what we've got here on our screen and what actually is signed.
Madam Mayor, I believe the city manager indicates that it's $100,000, and to the extent there's something different in the contract that you have in front of you, if the vote is to approve what's on the agenda, we'll conform the contract to your vote.
Okay, all right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9H, consideration of an action on our request to approve RFP 110421 cooperative agreement contract with Sourcewell and Alltech Industries in the amount not to exceed $464,000 for the purchase of one bucket truck and one line truck. The agenda item is being requested by Hugh Richardson of the Power Department. This is a budgeted item, Fund Vehicle Replacement, GL account number 510-4600-52-7590. This will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9H, consideration of an action on a request to approve 4 stop signs at Hawthorne Way, Inglewood Avenue, and Tahoe Avenue. This is a sizable intersection with 4 yield signs currently at each intersection, no stop sign. This is a request from Chief of Police Connie Rogers. This will service Ward 2. This is not a budgeted item, and there will be no cost for the police department.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. I have a question on this one, Chief. It said there's no cost for the police department. Somebody's got to make the signs, right? It's a minimal cost for public works,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And I
it'd
think
be a
that's
minimal, if that's a typo.
okay. All right. And I got some feedback that there was talk about this being a roundabout at some point. Is that
No.
no?
With the subdivision almost at 75% capacity, when you come into the subdivision, there is a 4 yield, and it could be a potential accident because there's no stop signs, and you get people rushing at times and just going through a yield sign. So thought would be best for all safety of all the residents in that subdivision to have 4 stop signs placed there.
Understood.
Absolutely.
Councilmember Carn?
Yeah, this particular intersection, it's actually not large enough to even create a roundabout in it. What's been happening, I've had 4 meetings with Hawthorne Station residents about this, and I've heard this on numerous occasions. People are, instead of yielding, they're just pulling through the 4-way intersection, and as that subdivision fills up with more residents, I think it's necessary for a 4-way stop. Additionally, they have a considerable large amount of pedestrian traffic. There are a lot of folks walking their dogs up and down those streets, headed to the park, down to Herschel Road, so on and so forth. So we wanted to make sure we cover that, also with a couple of crosswalks to make sure that that's, safe and, we're, everybody can, slow down a little bit and not be in such a rush.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Thank you, Chief.
Agenda item 9J, consideration of an action on a request to approve the renewal contract for food distribution services to Favor House Inc. in the amount not to exceed $50,000. The purpose of this renewal is to continue our partnership so that the city can continue to provide food distribution services to the residents of the city of College Park. This agenda item is being requested by Councilman Joe Carn. This is a budgeted item, Fund General Fund, Citywide Events, GL 100-1100-52-6193. This will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Agenda item 9K, consideration of an action on a request to approve an ordinance to transfer parcel ID numbers 130003, LL0449, and 130004, LL0588, commonly referred to as Brennan Memorial Park, from Ward 4 to Ward 2, and to dedicate the property as dedicated green space for parks and recreational use. This item is sponsored by Councilman Joe Carn and Councilman Roderick Gay.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Mr. Denmark, this is the first reading
First reading of what?
of this, because our wards are defined in our charter.
Yeah, we have done this previously, and we did not amend the charter in order to accomplish moving items. I considered whether it would require that, but on balance, we've done it in the past, and we have not amended the charter to accomplish this.
How do we, I'm confused about how we do it if, I mean, I think we can, but section 5-7, I'm sorry, I apologize. It is, I think it's section 5.4 of our charter, yes. Our charter establishes boundaries, like it lists each block, and it lists census tracts. So if we are moving those in any way, we're changing our charter. Why would we not go through, I mean, I think we can absolutely go through this, and post it, approve an ordinance, and then have 3 weeks of publication, and then go for the ordinance a second time. But this is a part of our charter. These wards are distinguished in our charter. I understand we may have done it some other way in the past, but if you go to section 5-4 of the charter, that is where our wards are established. If we are changing them, why would this not be a charter amendment?
Yeah, Mayor, I had that discussion internally, and we are merely relying on precedent and what we've done previously in other situations involving, ironically, Wards 2 and Ward 4. So that's the basis, and so that was why we did it the way we did it in this particular ordinance.
If I may.
Councilmember Carr?
Well, the boundaries are based on census tract per the ordinance, but when they are realigning tracts without residents, that's where this does not apply. So
Where is that?
we have done it before.
I mean, where does it, I mean, it literally goes through section 5-4, every single piece of land in the city. We're changing that. This should be a charter amendment.
Mr. Denmark,
Yes, ma'am.
I know we're here getting into the sticks about charter, but I think that we need to get back to basics, and if the mayor's going to deliberate, she's violating our ordinance right now. So if what's good for the goose is good for the gander, so I think that what we need to do at this point is just move on with this, because if we're going to get into ordinances and charter, I would like to see those adhered to in these meetings. So I'd like to make a motion that we just go on with this and not prolong it.
All right, so I want to be clear.
Mayor, I'd like to make a second.
Okay.
Second, okay, there's a motion on the floor.
Let me just make
Point
it
of
clear.
order, there's a motion on the floor, there's
And
no
I'm still the
deliberation.
chair. Thank you very much.
The
I want
chair,
to be clear.
point of order, the chair is out of order.
And thank you. So I want to make it clear that we are changing the charter here. I will not sign it. I will hand it over to the mayor pro tem, but I do not believe this is being followed appropriately. And so go ahead and do what you want to do. I will not sign it.
Well, then we should strike.
So go right ahead.
We need to
All those in
strike.
favor?
We need to strike all the things that are being said in these meetings because we're out of order.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Wait, I'm sorry, Councilmember Arnold? What-
I abstain.
Okay,
You
all right.
asked, yeah.
So Councilmembers McKenzie, Karn, and Gay are in favor. Councilmember Arnold abstained. The motion passes.
Agenda item 9L, consideration of an action on a request for approval of an ordinance to transfer parcel IDs 130029 LL0753, 130029 LL0712, and 130029 LL0688, totaling 18 acres at 2540 Riverdale Road from Ward 2 to Ward 4, and dedicate the property as dedicated green space for parks and recreational use. This item is sponsored by Councilman Joe Karn and Councilman Roderick Gay.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. I have the same objections to this one. I will not sign it. I will pass it right on to the mayor pro tem. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Councilmembers McKenzie, Karn, and Gay are in favor. Councilmember Arnold abstains. The motion passes.
Agenda item 9M, consideration of an action on a request to approve contractor Mahogany Construction carry out essential upgrades and renovations to the Public Works building located at 2233 Harvard Avenue, College Park, in the amount of $51,615. This agenda item is being requested by City Manager Lindell Y. Miller, with funding to be allocated from building/improvement line item GL account 100-4000-54-7530. This item will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Ms. Miller, I understand that Mahogany is a state contractor. Have we put this out to bid, though? Bid?
Based on our purchasing policy, we have the ability to utilize the state contract.
Okay. For an amount of this much, I feel like at some point it may behoove us to just see how much someone else would do the job for. I understand for efficiency's sake, and there's a number of things in that building that need repair.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think there's a balance to both. But anyway, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
City attorneys.
Agenda item 9N has been removed from the agenda. Next, 10, City Attorney's Report.
Madam Mayor, I believe my staff sent out by email my report to the city manager, the mayor pro tem, and council. And beyond that, I have nothing further.
City Manager's Report.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, I do not have a report at this time. However, I would like to thank my staff for their hard work.
Item 12, Report of Mayor and Council.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think it's important that we do things the right way. And whether it is moving forward in a space where we support people who are uplifting all of our citizens, or giving our citizens an opportunity and casting a net wide to make sure that we are getting the best and the brightest, and making sure that our staff is at the forefront of making those decisions and we're not shoving things down their throats. All that's really important. This shouldn't be a top-down thing. Our staff does the work day in and day out. I think for the most part, they know what they need. They know how to serve this city. They know how to make things run. And we need to listen to them. We need to respect their opinions as we move forward and try to meet our obligations to service the community that we so deeply love. August was a very, very busy month. And I had the honor of reading to students at the Main Street Academy. As you know, TMSA is a tuition-free, STEAM-certified public charter school here in College Park, and it was such a joy to spend time with the kindergartners, the first graders, and the third graders while they were learning and growing, and the third graders were actually doing a project-based learning activity. And so we talked about it for about an hour about what mayors do and the state of Georgia and how it fits into the whole. So I want to thank everyone at TMSA for welcoming me with open arms, and just know that Georgia Reads Day is coming up. We're very excited about that, and literacy is a big issue. I know Councilmember Karn has talked about it. I talk about it a lot. I'm a member of the Mayor's Reading Club, and we've got to keep on nurturing our young readers because readers become leaders. I also had the opportunity to present at the South Metro Advisory Roundtable hosted by the Council for Quality Growth. I shared how College Park is on the move and how we are making major investments in housing, in infrastructure, and took a lot of questions about 6 West and the future of our great city. It was a wonderful opportunity. It's the second time that I've presented to the Council for Quality Growth, and I appreciate the invitation. Also had the opportunity to attend the Georgia Chamber's Congressional Luncheon in Columbus, Georgia, because that was a sold-out event with folks from across the state. Saw folks from the coast and the mountains. Everybody came to Columbus to talk about Georgia's economic future and how all of that intertwines with what's going on in Washington, D.C. How do we continue to make Georgia at the forefront of being the #1 place to do business? And so there was a lot of conversation about that, and also how we do that responsibly. How we make sure that we invest in our infrastructure to make sure that the trucks that are coming from the Port of Savannah get through the entire state, and we still maintain our leadership as a logistics hub. It was a wonderful conversation and a great opportunity. And I want to thank Georgia Works. We talk about them relatively little for all the work that they do in our city. They work tirelessly to keep our city clean. In August alone, they collected more than 50 consolidated 65-gallon bags of trash and more. And their work underscores the impact of strong partnerships, because we can't be everywhere, but they are helping us keep College Park beautiful. And I think Councilmember McKenzie was there on Sunday for the second annual Southside Day. Young Jock hosted it at East Point's City Hall. It was fantastic. Such a wonderful event to see so many people coming, supporting the South Side. It was fun. It was really, really fun. And so, quick reminder, I still have one-on-ones. If you would like to meet with me, you can go to mayorbianca.com so we can sit down and have the conversations that you have questions about. And I just want to reiterate the issues about the consent agenda. I still think that we can keep on working on this because we have items there that probably need additional scrutiny. And there is no opportunity to do that right now. We spent, let's see, probably over $1 million after our Madam Clerk finished reading, in a matter of about 15 seconds. And sometimes we need to talk about those matters in depth. So I know that there is some question about whether or not I have the ability to add things to the agenda. I don't know, again, how I would do that, how I would get those community enhancement funds actually out to the community if I didn't have that ability. But I look forward to that discussion at the next workshop, and also look forward to, and I'll ask to have that resolution put on the next agenda so we can continue to have that discussion about blighted communities. And Councilmember Karn, I welcome the conversation about how to strengthen it. It came from the City of Atlanta, and Councilmember Amos was the one who sponsored that, and so that's what they passed. It's very similar. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how we can even do it better in College Park. But that's about all I've got. Thanks, everybody.
Ready? Yes. Hopefully this works. You think it's gonna work this time? see it. Take it all the way up. Yeah, the sound, you probably want to take it all the way up, the volume.
Public servant. That's what my job is. If you don't have people that you voted for, or people that your tax dollars is going towards paying them that are not serving you, you need to think again before you let them go on.
Greetings, this is Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie with my September 2nd report. It has been a phenomenal 2 weeks. Lots of great things going on in the city of College Park. I want to thank Gerald Walker, our new PIO, for coming out to our meeting, along with Giannis Bonner, the director of the GICC Gateway Arena and the golf course, for sharing with us at our meeting. We had safety updates. I shared information about my community enhancements for 2025-2026, and we got the opportunity to get lots of updates from several persons in our community. It was awesome. We also had the opportunity to ask questions and just hear from our community. Our next meeting will be held in October. On Thursday, August 21st, I attended the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam War Memorial Town Hall meeting held at Club E. It was a great lunch and learn, and we got updates on their memorial monument, and were able to hear from members and share with our veterans. On August 24th, I was honored with a doctorate of philosophy in humanitarianism for the more than 5,000 hours that I have dedicated to this community and this region. It was truly a privilege to be amongst so many persons that I look up to and I admire. And I was also grateful to be recognized by former President Joe Biden for my accomplishments. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has wished well and those who joined me on that special day. Thank you so, so much. I'm truly grateful. Last Thursday, we held a celebration for our new director of the GICC Gateway Arena and Golf Course, Mr. Giannis Bonner. It was a wonderful celebration. Congratulations, Giannis. On Friday, I attended Promise Career Institute with Joanne Allen and the ladies of Young Talent to share our new workforce development program for persons 16 to 24 years old. We're looking forward to all the students that are going to enroll and have their lives transformed through this wonderful workforce program. Saturday was our 23rd College Park reunion, and what a time we had. There was food, fun, neighbors coming back together who hadn't seen each other in a year, and just reliving some of the moments from College Park, the heritage of College Park. And this past Sunday, I attended Crash to Cash's second annual Southside Day. It was a fantastic program with lots of different artists, sponsored also by Ray Daniels, Young Jock, and Tory 100. We had elected officials from just about all of our cities on the South Side, and several persons were given honors, proclamations, tablets were given away, and book bags. Thank you. Also on Sunday, I attended the book release for Albert Butler's book, Life, Truth, Love, Loss, Success, and Failure, Quotes and Advice from a Father to His Kids to Win in Life. Mr. Butler is our CPA, and his business is located right here in College Park. Now for Ward 1 updates. We have received the first marker for our 1 square mile business district. Looking forward to the rest. Also, we've had crews out on Rugby so that we can begin to plan for putting the sidewalk on West Rugby. Also want to shout out to our Public Works and electric teams for helping us with the removal of tree limbs and trees that have fallen over the past few weeks. It's been a joint effort. We also started paving on Parkview Terrace, and we're going to be taking that even further. And speaking of paving, we resurfaced the track at Badgett Stadium. Here's what it looked like, and now here's what it looks like. The only thing missing is we've got to put the lanes in, and that will be done. It's going to just take about one day, so we'll let you know when that's going to happen, which should be shortly. Last week, we started the install for our shade that's going to be over the playground at Barrett Park. It should be completed within the next 10 days. We also are busy doing painting and some upgrade repair work at the Brady Gym, so please pardon our progress. Finally, I want to invite you to come out this Friday, September 5th, for our Community Thrive event that will be held at the Keith James Auditorium. We'll be giving out food, clothes, and shoes, and much, much more. This is Mayor Pro Tem Jamel McKenzie, and we are building College Park better every day.
Councilmember Carn?
All right, thank you. Well, I hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. The College Park Weather Department City Manager was doing a great job this weekend. The wonderful weather, it was nice and cool. Everyone enjoyed themselves. We held several Labor Day community events that were well attended. And again, it was a great weekend with good things. I featured Georgia Works in our last community newsletter, and they have been doing a great job supplementing some of our services and cleanup services. As I've always said in the city, we get a lot of company here, more company than most cities. We're staffed for 14,000 residents. We're budgeted for around that amount, but we see hundreds of thousands on any given day due to our dynamics with our hotels and motels and convention center, the airport, and 2 transit stations. So that extra help from Georgia Works goes a long way. I want to thank all of the residents who came out and attended the amazing MARTA cleanup at our College Park MARTA train station. We had, I think, 54 people showed up. It was an amazing time. We all had a great time, and we got quite a bit of litter out and about from that area there. We found tires, we found shipping crates and all kinds of stuff, and then old furniture that was discarded. I was amazed, but we got it up, and it's clean as the Board of Health over there. So we're glad about that, and we want to thank our partners with MARTA. The College Park family reunion was amazing and wonderful. I did attend, saw a lot of our families, and it's always good to have activities where people can come out and fellowship in College Park. City manager, we did my staff and I, we did a ride along with code enforcement, and looking at some areas that could use some attention, and I want to follow up with you on some of that. The road resurfacing along Godby Road went well over the last 3 or 4 days. The crew did a great job, and I've been getting many calls and many thanks. And I want to make sure that I'm assuming they're going to be restriping the road, I guess, following up subsequently. So we want to make sure that we get our stripes put back, obviously. I think that comes with the package, I'm pretty sure. In terms of our multifamily situation, some of our apartment communities do pretty well and are in good shape. Others are unacceptable. And I've been preaching for many, many months about the need for us to reform and overhaul some of our ordinances and codes. The mayor and I are on the same page with this, but we want to double those efforts we do want to model some of the things that the other cities are doing. The city of Atlanta also has the blight tax, which is added onto property taxes at a 25% clip. That's something else we're going to add to this ordinance when I bring it back at the next meeting. We've got a lot that we have got to do in terms of helping those that are most in need. I cannot remember being in service here how many occasions that I've had situations where well, a single parent mom, was being evicted from an apartment community, and I've just pulled personal funds right out of my pocket to pay that rent, or to give them just enough to get the lights turned back on. In every city or county, financial struggle is real, and sometimes it's painfully difficult to navigate. We've been pushing for better outcomes in our community. We established the Let's Power Up Our Neighbors for a reason, and it's been a very effective tool that has helped some folks make it from that month to month and to get by and get over. On a good note, we did hear back from Fulton County Schools as well as Clayton County Schools on our schools initiative, and I do have an executive summary from the school board that I got earlier today, so it was not in the package, City Manager, but I do have a copy here for you as well. So we did have some success. This was done, we started this project at the end of June, 1st of July, and it went pretty well. Just to give a highlight of a couple of things so that the public knows why we were doing this. This was to make sure that we had the funding that our schools deserved. In a nutshell, we had College Park Elementary, which is over 75% of our attendees in terms of our residents and children. Last year, we found out that they lost 2 teachers because not enough children showed up in the first few days of school, which is when they get their teacher allocation. We, as a city, wanted to do something about that. And working together as a team, we did do something about that. This year, we did not lose 2 teachers in College Park Elementary. As a matter of fact, we gained 2 teachers in College Park Elementary School. We also gained a teacher at Woodland Middle School as well. The August average daily attendance in most of our schools exceeded the attendance from last year. And it also exceeded the attendance from the year before that. So we gained 3 teachers in total. Each teacher is valued at approximately $100,000. So last year we had a loss of about $1.3 million in all of our feeder schools in the city that our city kids go to. This includes schools in East Point, Tri-Cities, Banneker, so on and such. So we had no net loss this year because we did put forth those efforts. Now, the back-to-school calculations, Hugh, I want to thank you for those calculations that you did do. The average 15% discount based on the average bill in August and September, which was $117, was around $20 roughly or so. The total qualifying accounts and households that we had were approximately 715, and there may be a few more that come in, with verification as well. So essentially, City Manager, we did budget an allocation of $20,000 for this project. In terms of qualifying College Park households, we have a little over 12,000 right now, which leaves a little bit of a net of $7,800 for this budgeted item. One of the things I would propose, and if you all are interested with it, is that we take that remaining $7,800 and put it into the Let's Power Up Our Neighbors account for residents that may be in need, that may not have children or may not have gotten a discount. So I would like to propose that if there's no objections there. we did budget the money, and it was out of my community enhancements, but I think that would be a proper place for that, where we could help and do the most good there. So that's all I got. Thank you so much.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. So I have a few highlights from the past couple of weeks. We did complete the transcripts for the meetings that we had with the residents at Princeton Village and Princeton Courts, and those transcripts are now in an actionable list for the city and for staff that will be shared with the HOA the residents or the management company at Princeton Courts and the city, so that the next steps of the task force can take place. On August 26th, I had the opportunity to have a meaningful discussion with Trees Atlanta about the potential partnership opportunities that could bring new green space enhancements and a tree canopy improvement here in Ward 3 right along East Main, and I'm looking forward to having more conversations with them and exploring opportunities for a project that could strengthen both our environmental goals and our community quality of life. I also had the opportunity to have a meeting with city staff about Ward 3's financial transactions, ensuring transparency and accountability in how the taxpayer dollars are being managed. And as always, my commitment is to keep our budgeting and reporting processes clear and accessible and align with the expectations of our residents. On August 28th, I participated in the South Fulton Municipal Association meeting, where we heard from Lincoln Tech about certification programs that they offer. These programs provide direct pathways for skilled trade careers, and I see them as an opportunity for not only our residents, but also our city staff who may be interested in advancing their professional development. And I shared that information with the city manager. I do have some materials that I picked up, and I can share them with all of you all as well. I want to take a moment to thank the Highways and Street staff for their hard work on the recent repavement of Jackson Street and Adams Street. The streets are looking amazing. They've done a great job. These improvements are reflecting our commitments to maintaining safe, accessible, and well cared for infrastructure in our community. Additionally, the latest edition of the Ward 3 electronic newsletter went out this weekend. It's been released, and I encourage everyone to take a look at it. It includes updates on our projects, the initiatives, the resources that directly impact the Ward 3 community. And finally, I'm excited to share that the registrations are now open for the Ward 3 drone soccer team. This program is free to verified College Park residents for grades 6 through 12 and provides a unique pathway to workforce development opportunities, including preparation for the FAA Part 107 remote pilot license. Registration is currently open and will remain open until September 26th. The spots are limited. There are two, I think you all remember that we agreed that there are 2 spots for each ward. And so I encourage families to go out and register their kids as soon as possible. If you need information on registration, please feel free to email cpward3@collegeparkga.gov to get the registration materials. And again, I thank you for your continued support. Together, we are building a stronger, greener, and more connected community.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Councilmember Gay?
I don't have anything this evening.
Okay. The last thing was taken off of executive session. So,
We do have an item in executive session, I believe.
is it the supplemental post-closing agreement? Is that it?
Yes, we have an executive session.
What's the purpose of entering into executive session?
As I understand it, there's a personnel item as well as that real estate item.
How does this have real estate when we've already transferred the land?
Mayor, I think we should have the conversation in executive session as to whether or not that's an appropriate item.
I'm sorry, but I
Councilmember Arnold?
adjusted the agenda and removed the executive session, and we voted on it and approved it.
No, we didn't.
That's true. Everything was removed from executive session.
We did not vote to remove the executive session.
Yeah, voted to remove her item.
Well, I understand,
No,
all right,
we
but
still have an
there's a real estate item.
I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of real estate and personnel.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
All right. So we've got Councilmembers McKenzie, Carn, and Gay in favor. Councilmember Arnold opposed, and the motion passes. We'll enter into executive session for discussion of real estate, which is the acquisition, disposition. What else? What else can we talk about with real estate? Mr. Denmark, what is it? Okay. All right. Real estate and personnel.